surgeon, obs gynae, orthopedics, they would not like to keep a medical doctor as their prefix. तो वो
Why
उनका
so?
ऑब्जेक्शन आएगा, तो हम इस बेस पे भी हम लड़ते हैं.
Why so? Why would they not like to keep it as prefix?
Mean
So
med,
med-
med mean medicine. I
Because
think
they are
Utpal is
surgeons.
interpreting as
mean
medicine.
Surgeons, any surgeon, yes. So surge DR हो जाएगा वो. That will be even funnier.
What
No,
are
I
the
think-
world guidelines? Gaurav, what are the world guidelines in this?
It's simple. I mean, you just put a prefix DR. That's it. US
That's
में
it.
तो कोई
We should-
DR भी नहीं
I think
लगाता
we should-
prefix. वो तो last में MD लगाते हैं.
That's it.
So I think bracket में allopaths जो पहले था, that sounds much better than this med DR. So I think we should go by this. Please go ahead, Dr. Mota. Second point.
One more thing, what we say that we have to honor international conventions and traditions that have been followed. So everybody internationally writes DR as doctor. Nobody writes med DR, XR, what. And people who are PhDs, they write, name only and साथ में PhD लिखते हैं. So those are done doctorates. So issue is that international convention is to write DR before a doctor of medicine. So we follow international convention and, rather than inventing our own convention.
They write their subject in brackets.
This is a great point, Dr. Mutta.
Doctor,
I think this is a great point,
like in mathematics
Dr.
and
Mutta, that we
English.
have to follow the international convention.
Dr. Mota,
Yes, sir.
I have a point. This looks also, writing allopath within brackets also looks very degrading.
नहीं, but वो तो सही बोल रहा है रविंद्र तो सही बोल रहा है ना कि that वो मनसुख मांडविया को तो तकलीफ होगी ना जब उसको हम लिखे बोलेंगे तू डॉक्टर हटा.
Why don't we write Dr. Anil Mota, MD, MBBS MD? Because
That we
if
are
you,
already writing. But
वो तो that is allowed anyway. We are writing that anyway.
Yeah.
The point was to differentiate allopaths from non-allopaths. That is why
Sir,
they
I-
suggested med DR.
the degrees are differentiating you from Ayurveda. You are writing MBBS MD. They cannot write MBBS MD. They will write
No,
whatever
but
they have.
they also get
on-
MD in Ayurveda, and
Sir,
then they write in bracket A.
Yeah,
they
BAMS
will- let
MD
them-
लिखेंगे ना वो. Not MBBS MD. That will be BAMS MD and bracket में Ayurveda.
वो तो अभी भी लिखते हैं.
MD लिखते हैं और उसका आयुर्वेद लिखते ही नहीं.
No, I think conclusion goes more like let it be DR, whatever, and if there is anything to be mentioned, the degree followed by it, be
Yes.
it PhD, be it MBBS or MD, whatever.
The
Yes,
med
I
should
think
be
that
removed.
is the best.
Yeah.
DR,
I think-
name, and then degree. The
I
degree
think
will
what we
explain.
should suggest is that we follow international convention of writing DR before a doctor who is qualified MBBS or MD, and he can write his degrees as per this the degrees that he has earned. So
Dr.
follow
Mota,
international convention rather than invent our own convention.
Dr. Mota, rather we should suggest that everybody is required to write his degrees after the name.
Name.
हाँ ठीक है ना,
Something-
मगर हमें पहले तो ये MED DR हटवाना है ना.
नहीं med DR हटा के
मेड हटाना चाहिए ना मेड.
med
Yes,
हटा
what
के
I'm
it should
saying.
be compulsory that degrees are written.
The first point we write that following international convention, we continue with DR rather than MED DR, and write the degree after the name, so that we are able to say that what is the exact DR that it stands for, whether it's a physician,
But
surgeon,
the-
gynae, whatever.
डॉक्टर
Yeah.
लाउटी कंपलसरी तो है ही. वो एनएमसी कह ही रहा है कि कंपलसरी है. इट इज मैंडेटरी टू राइट द डिग्रीज इन ऑल
Yes.
योर रिसीट सब्सक्रिप्शन एंड एवरीथिंग, विजिटिंग
Yes,
कार्ड, एवरीथिंग. इट इज कंपलसरी. वो तो कह ही रहे हैं.
So guys, in the interest of time, we'll be having two such meetings. Today's meeting is more introductory, going through various points, I believe so. And then there has to be final concluding meeting on one of the days, maybe this weekend or just early part of the next week. So in interest of time, we don't have to linger on one point more. We'll leave it to the steering committee to suggest what is to be done. I think we can make a point where we want to change. And then Gaurav and rest of the people can decide how to defend it. I mean, that is my point. Otherwise, it's 30 minutes and we'll be.
Good. I think
have
let's
to
go to
do
point number
nicely.
2. The point number 2 is that each doctor shall be issued a unique ID by the NMC, and the same shall be mandatory to be used in all documents and stamps issued by him. Now the question is that then we have got now two IDs. One that is provided by the state medical council, and then by the earlier the MCI, and then now is the NMC. So there shouldn't be no confusion. Now we'll be writing,
Sir,
10 kind of
I
IDs.
don't see a problem in this. I think we can agree to this. इसमें कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है.
No, but
Yeah,
what
we
happens
were
to
already
DMC?
registered by
Now,
MCI.
suppose I
Then
write
when
normally
DMC came
I
out,
write, नहीं सुनो ना,
MCI
उसमें
तो
normally
exist ही
I
नहीं करती
write
ना.
Dr. Anil Mota, DMC so and so. That is what that MCI earlier said, that you should write a state council and your registration number, and it has to be prominently to be displayed at your chamber also, and it has to be on your prescription also. So where does that go?
No. See, let me clarify. When we say unique ID means DMC and NMC, they will both, as a together body under the umbrella of NMC, provide a single ID, the unique ID. Okay.
So
It will
right.
it will have your registration number in it. Okay. Secondly, the issue is we are paying to the SMC, State Medical Council, as fees, but not to the NMC. Number one, will the NMC charge a separate fee for generating the unique ID? That is one. Secondly, that means we are going to pay two registration fee, one maybe one-time fee to the NMC, and one is every 5-year renewal fee to the State Medical Council. So that is cause for concern. Otherwise, unique ID to theek hai. MCI is giving NMC is giving a unique ID to all the medical teachers already in the country, in medical colleges. So now it will be universal for all the practicing doctors, not only medical colleges. So I think this is a good thing. इससे एक ये होगी ना, जिसके पास यूनिक आईडी नहीं है वो झोला छाप डॉक्टर है,
I agree कर लेना.
Okay, and that means that if somebody is registered with two state councils, then that all will go away.
No, टू स्टेट काउंसिल के लिए वो बाद में पॉइंट आ रहा है. रजिस्ट्रेशन यूनिक आईडी तो एक रहेगी, बट वो आपका प्राइमरी स्टेट रहेगा. फॉर एग्जांपल दिल्ली इज माय प्राइमरी स्टेट. If to practice in neighboring UP or neighboring Haryana, I will have to obtain a LTP which will be granted online within 7 days by that respective state. Okay. So registration एक ही रहेगा, एक ही फीस रहेगी. There will be no need to register in more than one state, but to practice in more than one state, I can obtain as many number of LTPs, license to practice.
So that is what
Gaurav,
we highlight, that we are okay with the unique ID, but
Yes.
we should not be charged, for that,
Extra.
because we have already paid to the state councils.
So it's
And-
issue of charges only, basically.
Exactly. So
Otherwise, we agree to it.
Right.
Are you taking down notes, Dr. Swati?
He's recording it, probably the whole program.
So बाद में
This
लिखना
is
पड़ेगा.
recording now.
Unique ID is not a bad
Yes,
thing.
sir.
I think unique ID is a good thing.
Okay.
We agree for the
Okay.
unique ID, but we do not want to pay the charges, and there has to be clarity between two separate IDs. And we should make it a point. Do we carry on with our MCI number somehow?
Of course, it has to be incorporated in the unique ID. It will be there.
All right. Fair
Okay.
enough.
So point number 3 is that the privilege of mentioning awards, honors, degrees not recognized by the National Medical Council, like diploma in diabetology, gold medalist, fellowship, etc., has been discontinued. Only recognized medical qualifications can be appended to the name.
This is okay.
How is it okay? I'll tell you why.
No. We have to fight vociferously for this point. Please go ahead, sir.
See, the question is very simple. Only recognized medical qualifications means what? Now, suppose somebody has done his
Anjali.
MRCP. Example, he has done his MRCP.
MRCP is
Fellowship.
recognized.
No, that's what I'm saying. No? The question is, there are some, fellowships which are not recognized, but are internationally accepted. So what is the harm in writing a fellow who is more qualified than his colleague? What does he stand to, gain by giving up that? If somebody has done, let us say, diploma in diabetology.
No. There are so many Russian MBBS. They are practicing as cardiologists.
No,
Right.
what
They
they
have done diploma in cardiology from
There are so
IGNOU.
many MBBS who are they done some diploma in diabetes, and they are practicing as diabetologists.
Diploma in cardiology also.
So
From
if
IGNOU. That too from
something
IGNOU.
is not recognized by
Indira Gandhi
MCI or
Open University.
NMC, why should we?
No. We are not saying that. We are saying that somebody has fellowship. he has got, fellowship, let's say, from Britain.
All international fellowships which are good, they are recognized.
That's what I'm saying.
not.
So
They
international
are not.
fellowships, even if not recognized by NMC, should be accepted here.
Dr. Rajiv, if you have 5 gold medal in MBBS, would you like
Right.
to write it as a suffix to your name?
No.
ओके अभी एक चेन्नई में बच्चा था, अभी 2 दिन पहले न्यूज में था, उसको 32 गोल्ड मेडल मिले हैं एमबीबीएस में.
ठीक है.
वो कहेगा प्राउडली आज तक देश में किसी को नहीं मिले हैं. मुझे ये प्रिविलेज दी जानी चाहिए, आपके नाम के बाद लिखूं, क्योंकि मेरी डिग्री एमबीबीएस भी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड बाय एनएमसी है और 32 मेडल भी देयरफॉर रिकॉग्नाइज्ड बाय एमबीबीएस है. आई शुड बी अलाउड टू राइट 32 गोल्ड मेडल्स इन एमबीबीएस. आई
ऐसे
थिंक
तो
द
फिर
चाइल्ड डिजर्व्स इट.
ऐसे तो फिर हर चीज लिख लो, फिर तो सारी
नहीं।
अचीवमेंट्स लिख लो.
नहीं सर, सुनो,
आप अपने
Number
नाम
one-
के आगे डिग्री तो लिखोगे, डिग्री के आगे
नहीं,
अचीवमेंट्स थोड़ी
See,
लिखनी
the
है.
Yeah,
idea is degrees though that confer medical knowledge, academic knowledge. That is the point. Academic. We are talking about academics. So
See,
academic
these-
qualifications जितनी हो उतना लिखने अलाउ करना चाहिए. आखिर मैंने इतनी मेहनत की है. I
भाई
think
अगर
this is
किसी को
the-
गोल्ड मेडल, गोल्ड मेडल, सॉरी करो, अगर किसी को गोल्ड मेडल मिला है, इट इज ड्यूरिंग द कोर्स ऑफ अ रिकॉग्नाइज्ड मेडिकल कैरियर. इट इज नॉट बीइंग गिवन बाय सम चैरिटेबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. All gold medal or any honor that he has earned during the course of his recognized medical qualification, he should be allowed to display. Why not?
नहीं अनरिकॉग्नाइज की बात कर रहे हैं. रिकॉग्नाइज तो वो कह रहे हैं कि ठीक है लिखो, बट मेरा ये पॉइंट है, दिस इज ए
गोल्ड
वायलेशन.
मेडलिस्ट तो रिकॉग्नाइज, अगर उसने ड्यूरिंग हिज एमबीबीएस कैरियर 32 गोल्ड मेडल लिए हैं, तो व्हाई वोंट ही बी अलाउड टू राइट?
Dr. Mota, you tell me, are you okay with people who are just Russian MBBS or only MBBS and they are practicing as cardiologists, they are doing all
Rajiv, that is anyway illegal by another part of the NMC Act. That is anyway illegal now. वो उन्होंने
Yes,
एकदम
they are
prohibit
now
कर दिया है.
I think they what do they mean by this only, that there are so many people who are not up to the mark for that, but they have done some 3 months course or 6 months course and they have become diabetologists, they have become.
So now they cannot write diabetologist or cardiologist. Okay, ये NMC ने clear कर दिया है.
Yes.
Now they cannot write that. But अगर उसने किया है, मैं तो कहता हूँ कि उसने 1 साल डायबिटोलॉजी में एक्स्ट्रा स्किल है, उसकी नॉलेज है, नॉलेज एंड प्रोफेशनल स्किल एनहांसमेंट उसका एक्सपीरियंस है, तो ही शुड बी अलाउड टू राइट. इफ नॉट समवेयर एज ए इमीडिएट प्रीफिक्स लाइक डिग्री.
that course
आप
should
पोस्ट
be in the
ग्रेजुएट हो, इतने
curriculum,
साल से
ना.
काम कर रहे हो,
That
और वो
course
बंदा
should be in the
6 महीने की
curriculum of-
ट्रेनिंग लेके डायबिटोलॉजिस्ट हो जाता है. हम एमडी मेडिसिन है, डायबिटोलॉजिस्ट नहीं लिख सकते.
He
और
cannot
वो
write
सारा 6 महीने की ट्रेनिंग
diabetologist.
के बाद
MD
I'm
medicine
saying-
cannot write. See, MD medicine
Yes.
cannot write, but MBBS doing the 3
एमबीबीएस
months
में
or 6
डिप्लोमा इन
months
6
course and diploma can write.
डायबिटोलॉजिस्ट बन जाएगा.
नहीं बनेगा और उसको
So that's
अलाउड भी
not
नहीं
fair.
है डायबिटोलॉजी प्रैक्टिस.
So then
उसके
you
बाद
are
तो allowed
suggesting
हो जाएगा
that
ना,
he
अगर
should be
आप
allowed to
allow-
write it down.
अगर
Why?
आप allow कर दोगे तो allowed हो
No,
जाएगा.
there is a difference between writing the qualification and writing the practice. He should be allowed. My point is, I should be allowed to write a diploma in diabetology, but I should not be allowed to write diabetologist. There is a difference between the two.
I think that is well taken. See, any honor or any
I
recognized,
have see, we
Right.
all are aware. We have seen so many big consultants. उनकी basic degree तो MBBS MD होती है और उस पे कम से कम 50 उन्होंने fellowships और वो लिख दी होती है, which has no meaning. Which has no
Dr.
meaning.
Gaurav,
Some of them are even bought only. They just pay the fees and they are
a normal
they become
patient
fellows.
thinks that he's
Doc-
overqualified.
नहीं, I
yeah.
think this is a
So it has-
violation
it has
of
two
my
issues.
right to education. कल को मैं पढ़ना छोड़ दूं एक्स्ट्रा स्किल्स अपनी, अगर मैं सीरियस हूं, आई एम नॉट
No, it
टॉकिंग
has-
अबाउट ठीक है कोई
membership-
खरीद रहा है,
Membership
अगर मैं
is not a-
सीरियस हूं, आई
membership
शुड
is
बी
not a
अलाउड
skill.
टू राइट माय स्किल एनहांसमेंट एक्सपीरियंस
No.
below
You
my
are
name because I worked so hard in my life for 10 years maybe.
membership is not a skill. Fellowship.
so we are not talking memberships. We are talking about fellowships.
Gaurav, I think there
Yeah.
are 2 points in this. One is that is recognized degree, and second is advertising yourself that look, I
Yes.
am a gold medalist.
Yes.
I have been awarded this and this fellowship. I have done this diploma. So we as an association also have to support few things which are as a recognized degree. And second thing is part of your advertising that you stand out from rest of the masses by, I am writing that I am falana in EDP. Does that give me any extra credentials? No. So that is
Yes,
part of my
yes.
advertisement that I'll use EDPA as something to promote me. Okay, I am holding this rank in the EDP, but that doesn't become my degree. So that's where we need to differentiate what is a recognized degree and second, what is an advertisement. Okay,
No, there is also an important thing,
Yeah.
that is what is a recognized honor. Example, I'll tell you two things. Suppose somebody is a BC Roy awardee
yeah. So that's an
and he
important
writes
thing.
BC Roy awardee. That is not advertisement. It is an honor.
Right.
Somebody is a Padma Shri. So he writes a Padma Shri.
that is a recognized award. That is like a
Right.
recognized
So
thing.
we need to differentiate on those two aspects.
Yes.
And I think
And
what
honor,
Gaurav has
honor
said
is an
is
honor.
fine.
And see, what I'm saying, trying to say is that an honor is an honor, and it is different from advertisement. Example being honorary physician to the President of India. That is no degree earned. That is given.
And Paras, when we say use the word advertisement, it has got a very different connotation. It means announcing in anything other than your signboards. When you're writing on a letterhead, visiting cards, signboards, prescriptions, that is plain and simple writing the qualifications. When we
Right.
use the word advertising, that means you are announcing it anything other than all these, like, social media or, press or whatever. So advertising is totally different. We are talking
That's what I'm
about,
saying. It's on the letterhead. It goes on advertising. If you mention too many things, it becomes an advertisement. Actually,
it will not be called as advertising by either legal this thing or
it
by
will not be
NMC
called,
standard.
but the connotation becomes similar. That's why NMC want to clamp it. That you writing so many things on it, that becomes an advertisement. Actually, that's where the catch is. Actually, that's where we all need to differentiate.
What are the international guidelines? They only write MD. They write their name and they write MD. Nobody writes so many fellowships.
No, Rajiv. They write so many things like chair of this and this and
That
associate
is only when
professor.
that is only when we introduce them, but not in
No,
their
no, no,
policy.
No. They write even on their letterheads that he is a chair, though that is only an honorary thing.
Only
So there's
20% of the
there's
quota.
actually no harm. It's like how I want myself to be introduced to the world. It's just that much. That some part becomes degree, some part becomes my introduction to the rest of the world. It's people should be allowed to introduce whatever
honor
they
should
want.
be allowed to be written, but advertisements not as an advertisement. That is our aim to be carried across.
Okay, if I'm a patient, I'm asking you one question. How should I differentiate I've got two specialists of similar qualification. How should I differentiate one who is more educated and more academically, qualified, more who has enhanced his skills more in particular fields than a person without them? Answer my question.
By going to the doctor and talk to.
That's where
Before going to
goes.
the doctor, can I do that? Don't I have that privilege as a patient?
Yes, so doctor should be allowed to mark. अब वो LinkedIn profile check करेगा, कहीं check करेगा कि डॉक्टर साहब ने कहाँ से किया है, कितने साल में किया है, कितने medals हैं. So that's what where it goes actually.
Do you really believe कि उसकी clinical skills है और उससे कोई उसका है?
Yes, Rajiv. Yes. Whether somebody did it from AIMS, whether somebody did it from Jharkhand, it will make a difference.
Institution definitely makes a difference.
So everything makes a difference. Everything makes a difference.
No, but ultimately,
अच्छा मैंने LLB करी है, बड़ी सिंसियरली करी है, मेहनत से करी है, ठीक है. NMC कह रही है आप LLB नहीं लिख सकते, इससे मेरी नॉलेज एनहेंस हुई है, एक्सपीरियंस एनहेंस हुआ है, ठीक है. तो मैं क्या फिर छोड़ दूं?
LLB is recognized.
NMC it is not recognized by NMC. वो तो कह रहे हैं NMC recognized qualification होना चाहिए, not by Bar Council of India.
So that's wrong. Those things have to change. We have to correct the catches in that basically.
It's very broad.
We have to reach a common ground. That is the point, no?
So that is very simple to say, na, that if I have earned a degree or honor, that I should be allowed to write.
Yes, we should be allowed to write, sir. All knowledge gained through fellowships or diplomas or any other such platform should be allowed to be written, because this is the way.
Because these are not given by the government or somebody just for the hell of it. They are earned after reading and writing here for years together.
Exactly.
So we cannot say that no, that doctor of medicine will prescribe.
Drugs. I think what we conclude is that we need a correction here. They should be allowed. And how do we correct it? We leave it again to our steering committee and Gaurav for the further discussion.
No
But
special
we-
qualifications that have been earned after
Yeah,
putting in labor has to be recognized. That is the simple thing.
Though the
we
person
have-
cannot write, diabetologist, cardiologist, and that is okay. That is okay with
No,
us.
no,
but-
that is a separate thing.
Yes, sir.
Writing diabetologist
वो
and
तो
this is
एनएमसी
separate
पहले ही
thing.
बॉस वो पहले एनएमसी सॉरी डॉक्टर मोटा वो एनएमसी पहले ही मना कर रही है कि
हाँ, सर।
डिप्लोमा कोर्सेज ये सब करके आप डायबिटोलॉजिस्ट कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट नहीं लिख सकते हैं.
बिल्कुल सही है.
No, but then Dr. Gaurav, I beg to differ. Here, you are allowing a person to write a diploma in diabetology, and you are saying that he cannot write diabetologist.
Yes.
If you are a patient, what do you infer after seeing his qualifications? He is writing diploma in diabetology. Who will imagine that he is not a diabetologist in real
यार
sense?
वो तो अभी हम एमडी मेडिसिन वाले भी नहीं कर पा रहे. डॉक्टर साहब आप कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट हो? नहीं यार कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट नहीं, एमडी मेडिसिन हो
Sir,
भाई.
let us assume this
नहीं,
poor
मैं-
chap has done 1 year of diabetology experience very sincerely and is good in his field. You know, and
So
yeah.
then he should be allowed to write diabetologist if he has done it sincerely and this is NMC recognized.
no, in
course.
that case, we cannot. There are two places in the country that recognize diploma in diabetology. You are right. Chennai में है और मुंबई में है, and they write diabetologist. But the NMC का कहना है, then how do we differentiate an endocrinologist from a diabetologist in diploma? That therefore diabetologists and diploma holders are not allowed to write diabetologist because endocrinologist is a diabetologist.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong connotation.
Yeah.
There is a whole lot of difference between an endocrinologist and diabetologist. Endocrine is too vast
Who was?
to be done by anybody. Diabetology can be done by many, and it's need of the hour. It's need of the nation actually to have more diabetologists.
So I think we will need another day to debate on this point because at the end of half an hour it remains a point. Let's move ahead. Dr. Mota, what do you
Yeah,
suggest?
so we have to keep moving.
Okay.
Excuse
So,
me, one
we
point,
have-
Dr. Paras,
Yeah,
Dr.
We
Gaurav.
have, we
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
please.
Somebody
at
somebody
least-
wants to say
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it include membership of societies also, RSSPI, DDF? Can we write this on our prescription pad?
नहीं. Dr. Saini,
Dr. Bhatia.
Dr. Bhatia, अच्छा हाँ.
Yeah.
वो तो that is way anyway out. वो तो see earlier it was allowed, honors and fellowships they were allowed, awards, all these three things were allowed. Now they are categorical that they will not be allowed to write.
Can somebody
Okay.
write formerly professor or head of the department of Falana Medical College?
I think
It's allowed.
we don't have a clarity. We will like to have clarity on this. So please note down this point because I think that should be allowed because that confers your previous experience.
Yes.
So somebody has been an honorary assistant professor in a Gujarat Medical College for 3 months and becomes a honorary assistant professor. So he is then,
Gained
allowed to
experience.
write that.
Sir, designation is different, qualification is different. Let's not confuse between these two.
Yes.
If
So the
anybody
issue is we have to
professor
clearly
or
say
ex-professor
out-
should be allowed to be written.
I would also like to draw your attention. Many of the private hospitals have now become teaching places by introduction of DNBE courses, and the consultants there they are using professors as prefix.
That
So
is
if
exactly,
the-
it
if
is
the
not a degree
regulations,
earned.
yeah.
It is
So-
not a degree earned. That's what you want to say, that what we have earned, we should be allowed to write.
Yes.
So if the DNB allows it legally to write professor, as a suffix or
I'm
prefix,
not. I
No,
don't know.
no. DNB allows you only to be a guide.
then it is
DNB
illegal
does
in
not
that case.
make you a professor.
See, everybody. I know people in Gangaram
I
Hospital.
know. So that is true. I also accept what you want. See, 100%. But just because they are DNB guides doesn't make them professors.
Professor designation is given by a university, or the NMC. I'm clear about this.
Or
But
the
I don't
Public
know
Service
about-
Commission.
given
Or
by
a
the
Public
university.
Service Commission or a teaching in a body. They give a professor, yeah.
The
It is
institute does not. Yes.
So if it is given by a recognized body like the Public Service Commission, or it is given by the medical college or by an institute, so that is different. But you are self-styling yourself as a professor just because you are a guide. doesn't make you a professor.
So
we
we
have
need
to
more clarity
differentiate
from
between,
NMC. Yes.
right.
big-
So we have to
put a big
differentiate
question
between
mark after
designations
this
which
and
have
then
been
we will-
earned and designations which are self-styled. That is what we want to convey.
I think the points which we are discussing now are one of the most important points.
So that's fine. So we
Yeah.
write that designations earned should be allowed to be written, but designations
Yes.
which are just given on honorary basis or self-styled designation may be scrapped.
So please go ahead,
And-
Dr. Mota.
And person
Okay,
should
sir.
be allowed to write few details of his experience on his letterhead, I think. So degree is one thing, and writing some details of yours on your letterhead should be allowed.
वही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ ना, जो experience earned है and recognized है, that should be allowed to be written. But that is which is self-styled. We know there was an ex-professor of cardiology who probably never did an angiography, but he has a full one-page, of his
Both sides.
designations and honors
sides.
written to it.
both
Mhm.
sides.
हाँ प्रेस्क्रिप्शन भी अगले पेज पे लिखते हैं सर वो.
both sides है.
प्रेस्क्रिप्शन उसमें तीन ये जो लाइन होती है जिसमें आधे से ज्यादा समझ ही नहीं आती.
The
हाँ, sir.
90% of the prescription has all this matter what Paras is saying, and 10% remains for the prescription on the on each page. So I think the NMC should come out with guidelines ki not more than 1/4 or 1/5 should be allowed for all this.
We can put
and-
this as a proposal, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, the proposal should be that we allow at the most 8 or 10 lines to be written about your experience or your whatever your earned honors are, rather than writing one full sheet and then making an edit sheet. वो तो बिल्कुल गलत है ना. So we make this as a proposal.
Yes. Very
Okay.
good. Point 4. Yes.
Number coming to point 4, it carries forward the legacy of MCI in expecting doctors not to mention cardiologists for MD internal medicine specialists. So that's fine, as long as we don't have a recognized cardiology degree, we don't write cardiology. That's fine. But if we have experience in cardiology, somebody should be allowed to write. If he has experience in cardiology for 3 years, he should be allowed that I did senior residency or I did registrarship in cardiology for 3 years. That doesn't make him a cardiologist, but that tells us about his experience.
Point 5.
Okay, now point 5 is
Anything
allopathy
about point number 4? Anybody?
Point number 4, I think one issue is,
Many people have a lot of itch about this.
yeah, one issue about this is what can we treat? Does it have a hint from it that I am in internal medicine? What disorder can I treat if I am not a cardiologist, if I am not a diabetologist? Why I am treating sugar? Why I am treating a patient with angina or MI even? Does it has some connotation further to allow me or not to allow me? Writing is one part. Yeah, I just want a clarification on that, Gaurav.
So there are two things. When you write a diabetologist, that means you are especially qualified. The law is very clear about this. You are especially qualified to treat diabetology other than other things, which might be your, MBBS or specialist MD level qualifications. Okay. Secondly,
Writing diabetologist means DM.
Exactly. That is my point.
See, writing a cardiologist is different from writing that I have got, 5 years experience in the department of cardiology in Jeevan Hospital. So that is different. You are talking of your experience and what you have, learned, but you are not a cardiologist. So writing a cardiologist would be rather not allowed. That is okay. What is wrong with that?
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Gaurav, we have
Can
to
we-
at some
can
point
we-
put it
can we
somewhere that what can we practice is different from what we can write, and how do we strike the right balance between these two things, that what we
No.
can inform
See,
to our
NMC
patients.
has, regarding this point, NMC has already answered this. ये थोड़ा सा और आगे भी आ रहा है.
All right, fair enough. We leave it from
now-
here and we'll connect there then.
Yeah.
Dr. Gaurav, one point. Can we write special interest in?
See,
Special
earlier it was allowed to be written. That was the best thing. My best suggestion is special interest in nephrology, special interest in diabetology,
Yes,
and that was legal as well. But now NMC says there is no clarity regarding. That is why we are putting up this suggestion that if we have an experience in a particular field, we should be allowed to write it. That is our suggestion.
And that's
to the
perfect.
NMC.
We should suggest in that tone.
Yes,
Exactly.
that is what I
Yes.
was saying.
That is where that experience comes in. That is where those diplomas and fellowship might come in. I think it is a wiser thing to suggest them that they should allow
Then
some
we should be
space
allowed to
on
Yes.
that.
say about our
Yes.
experience and not about being some kind of
Yeah.
super specialist.
So it
Sir, I
can't be
don't know
specializes
whether I'm
in,
right or wrong,
specializes
but
in
Gaurav-
or interest in. So that thing should come on your prescription. There's no harm in that. There's where you mention what experience you have in that field.
नहीं सर
But
एक
Okay,
एक
so
मिनट
special
Dr.
interest
पारस,
and
this
experience
thing,
should be
sir,
allowed.
सर
1 minute.
अगर कोई सीनियर रेजिडेंट गैस्ट्रोएंट्रोलॉजी में अपर जीआई और लोअर जीआई करना सीख जाता है और वो अपने आप को एक्सपीरियंस कह के गैस्ट्रो ये करने लग जाता है प्रोसीजर्स, तो दैट शुड नॉट बी अलाउड ना. एक्सपीरियंस
Yes,
इज
yes,
डिफरेंट,
I agree.
क्वालिफिकेशन इज डिफरेंट, डेजिग्नेशन इज डिफरेंट.
नहीं, see that रविंदर देखो उसका वहां तो जरूरी the law will come into force because he is doing a procedure which he is not allowed to do. So if he is doing a wrong thing, he is doing a wrong thing. That's a
But he
different
can
thing.
he can always counter na, that I have a certificate in gastroenterology. I have done endoscopies from
See,
this,
in
from
all
there.
probability, Dr. Rajiv, in all probability, the जब कोई केस होगा ना, the court will not allow him. वो
हाँ,
कहेगा कि
I know that. I know that. I know.
एंडोस्कोपी, हाँ तो वो रिस्क ले रहा है ना, रिस्क तो सभी ले रहे हैं, तो वो
So
रिस्क ले रहा है at his own cost. That
he
is
is
it.
taking a risk which we are not accepting. And if he faces trouble tomorrow, so he has to prove that yes, he took the risk and he was allowed to
Because
take the
only
risk.
a
this is something we need
gastroenterologist
to-
will be allowed to undertake upper GI and lower GI, and not a person who has experience in this. This is very clear.
तो वो तो हमें प्लूरल टाइपिंग का भी अपना खुद का नहीं पता और एसआईटी टाइपिंग का भी नहीं पता, क्या करें अभी.
नहीं, आप देखो जैसे there was
Right.
This is your field, without a doubt.
No, I do not know. I really do not know whether it is
I'm
my
telling
field or
you.
not.
I am telling you, this is your field, without a
this-
doubt.
This field clarification and the area of domain clarification also is a long process, which we'll have to really clarify that how much I can, how much am I allowed to do with ultrasound guidance and without ultrasound. But that's not the debate today. Let's move on further.
Paras, whatever
Yeah.
your clinical skills are, you can do that, but you cannot write gastroenterologist. You cannot write pulmonologist.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. If your clinical skills
Rajiv,
are there, you can do it.
If the skills
Rajiv-
skills allow me to do endoscopy, but I'm not allowed legally, I'm a fool
Rajiv,
doing it.
The point here
Rajiv-
comes, इस तरह के बहुत cases courts में आए हैं, तो courts में if you are able to convince them, I have done 500 cases, 1000 cases, and I have skills in this from so and so institute, therefore I have been doing them. No, it is up to the court, but in all probability, जो मैं बता रहा हूँ, अब जो demarcation करते जा रहे हैं ना courts, in all probability, you will not be allowed to undertake a procedure that is, specific to a particular super specialization. That is my take on this.
See, at the same time, let's suppose there's a person who is MD radiology and he, has done only ultrasound experience. He has never, done CT experience or MR experience. So then, if he writes ultrasoundologist, there's nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah,
then
fair,
tomorrow
sir.
he does a mistake in doing an ultrasound, he's in trouble. So that is, committing a mistake is different from being experienced in that particular specialty.
Okay,
Okay,
let's
point-
move ahead. Yeah.
Point number 5, allopathic doctors should not employ Ayush practitioners. However, if a doctor does employ an Ayush doctor, then the ultimate responsibility shall be on the employee himself as well as the doctor responsible for employing. So,
Agreed,
if I
agreed.
employ an Ayush practitioner, and then tomorrow there's a problem, so both the practitioner as well as me are in trouble. I think this is acceptable
This is
Fair
acceptable.
enough.
I mean, you take the responsibility of them. All right, fair enough.
because there's a shared responsibility.
Fair enough.
Point number 6
No,
is
they are not saying shared responsibility. They are saying
Shared
you,
नहीं.
you only are responsible. It's not a shared responsibility. Saying
नहीं, both are,
Allopathic
नहीं,
की
नहीं,
होगी
both,
सिर्फ.
both are responsible. Both are
no,
responsible.
they are saying you only are responsible.
No.
ये लिखा है ना
Employee
employee
Ultimate
as well as the doctor.
responsibility should be on the
Both.
employee himself as well as the doctor responsible for employing such a person.
All right, so it's on both.
Yes.
Yes.
So it is a both, it's on both. Number 6, a doctor qualified to practice allopathy and homeopathy oblique Ayurveda cannot practice both.
Yes,
He can practice only one pathy. I think that's fair.
Agreed.
That is
Fair,
agreed.
fair.
So number 7, short courses in homeopathy Ayurveda by an allopathic doctor cannot practice homeopathy
One
Ayurveda.
point, can I go back? So
Should be the other way around. It
writing
should have
some
been the other way
OTC,
around.
writing some OTC of Ayurveda like Lip 52, Niri, Cystone, or Amlicure, does that become Ayurvedic practice prescription?
See,
How
when
does
you are
that
saying OTC, Paras, when you are saying
Yeah.
OTC, it nevertheless does not need any prescription. So you can write it. But if they're proprietary Ayurvedic formulas, that is illegal to write.
So,
Okay.
so
Clear.
Lib 52 and these things are allowed to be written?
These are
I don't
OTC.
know if it is OTC or not.
No,
If they're
no,
OTC,
sir,
you
you
make
can
it
write
OTC?
it.
I don't think
Dr.
that is
Gaurav, I
right.
beg to differ. I'll tell you one thing. Supreme Court of India had given clear-cut guidelines that people who are doctors of allopathy will not write non-allopathic drugs. So whether it is OTC or not, we cannot write it on a
OTC.
prescription.
You are right in saying that. But OTC does not need prescription at all.
That's
So
what I'm
OTC,
saying.
anybody, for example, paracetamol hai, crocin. So Ayurved guy can write crocin because it is a OTC. So for OTC, we can write it as an allopath.
No. Writing a product is different from ordering a product which is an OTC product. Okay. You can order a product, but writing a product, if I'm writing an herbal preparation, then I'm not allowed to write. That's what the Supreme Court said in our ruling.
On a prescription, you cannot write.
You cannot write on the
he's right.
prescription.
I think Dr. Mota is right.
I'll need some clarification here. I don't know. To my mind, how I take it is that OTC, anybody can write, whether he belongs to any pathy whatsoever. But for proprietary formula of that particular, pathy, one other pathy person cannot write it. No, that is my take on this.
I think, Dr. Gaurav, if you please get it clarified. I am very sure about the Supreme Court who had written about a particular product where a person, I think what Dr. Rajiv said was, who had written cystone or something, which was not to be written, and they said that no, this is a non-allopathic product. मुझे अभी याद नहीं exactly which was the medicine he had written, which was a very common medicine. I think Jerry Fort, something like that. So मेरा कहने का मतलब, see, now there are a lot of aphrodisiacs in the market, okay, which are again over the counter, but are being advertised as aphrodisiacs. Then if I write a aphrodisiac which is bloody not an aphrodisiac and I write it on prescription, I am endorsing that aphrodisiac quality of that product, which is not true. Same is true for
But sir, if something is OTC already, it is OTC
तो यार
basically.
हम अपने पर्चे पे नहीं लिखेंगे ना, उसको खरीदना तुझको बोल जा खरीद ले.
नहीं, अगर कोई चीज है ही OTC, पर्चे पे लिखा नहीं लिखा, it doesn't matter actually.
नहीं OTC पे prescription
OTC is for the
नहीं है ना.
patient, right?
मैं कह रहा हूँ
Patient can
OTC
procure
जो
it.
भी
That
है.
doesn't mean
Patient अपने आप
doctor
खरीद ले.
can prescribe.
अरे वही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ यार, अपने पर्चे पर नहीं लिखेंगे हम.
Exactly.
You know, there are
One
so
should
many
not write.
drugs. There are so many drugs which are
आपने
not being.
सबके कान खड़े कर दिए हैं एफ्रोडिसियक की बात करके, सोते हुए भी जाग गए हैं.
अरे यार झूठ नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, देखो ना, there are some
सर
very common
एक दो
things.
नाम हमें भी बता दीजिए सर.
सर 2-3 नाम शेयर
यार मैं तो कुछ लिखता ही नहीं हूँ, मैं तो ये फालतू बातें लिखता ही नहीं हूँ कभी. But not do I even tell my patients. Let them go to hell यार. भाई जो मेरे पे हाथ में जो मेरी किताब में लिखा नहीं, मैं कहाँ से लिखूंगा? Simple. I tell them very
ज्वाइन
honestly.
करने वाले हैं.
रविंद्र, तूने गाड़ी खड़ी तो नहीं कर दी, पार्क तो नहीं कर दी गाड़ी कहीं? गाड़ी चला भाई, दिल्ली दूर है अभी.
अंदर दूसरा एक commonly people ask you, मुझे जो है ना ये फैट बर्नर दवाई लिखिए. अरे यार फैट बर्नर दवाई तो हालांकि एडवर्टाइज होती है on YouTube and these ads, but we cannot write a fat burner. It is not in our
All right, guys, we
We'll
move.
take clarification on this. Let's move ahead. Yeah.
All right, let's
सर
move.
एक quick sample example. Live 52 सिरप Live 52 या टैबलेट Live 52 एक एलोपैथ डॉक्टर लिख सकता है या नहीं?
नहीं.
We leave it to Gaurav to clarify and Dr. Mota to clarify.
I am
He'll
very
give us
sure
evidences.
that Supreme Court issued guidelines. No, it was about the same thing. I think it was about Jerry Ford, if I'm not wrong. जो मुझे याद है.
भाई कुछ साल पहले ये आया था कि एलोपैथिक वाले डॉक्टर आयुर्वेदिक नहीं लिख सकते.
And was very
ठीक
clearly
है.
written which was
बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे हैं.
allopathic.
All right, sir, ऐसा
about
करते हैं,
OTC लिख सकते हैं कि
गौरव
नहीं?
और डॉक्टर मोटा के लिए छोड़ देते हैं. They'll give
आगे
us
बढ़ो, आगे बढ़ो.
clarity on that, right?
आगे बढ़ते हैं.
Let's not linger on.
Then there is number 8.
7. Number 7.
Sorry. Short courses in homeopathy, Ayurveda cannot by an allopathic doctor cannot practice homeopathy or Ayurveda. And simple thing is short course in diabetology, cardiology cannot practice as diabetologist, cardiologist. If recognized, then it's fine. If not recognized, okay, we will not write that
We have
are
already
cardiologists.
discussed. Yeah.
है ना?
But they have
So
written
I will-
even if recognized.
हाँ, यही तो बात है ना कि ये डायबिटोलॉजी कार्डियोलॉजी के बारे में एनएमसी ने नहीं कहा है, बट उन्होंने कहा है कि कोर्सेज इन होम्योपैथी आयुर्वेदा, अगर शॉर्ट कोर्सेज भी किसी ने ऑब्टेन किए हैं जैसे 1 year 6 month डिप्लोमा होते हैं होम्योपैथी में, बहुत सारे इवन डीएम लोग भी प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं इस तरह से। तो उन्होंने एनएमसी ने ये क्लैरिफाई किया है कि यू कैन नॉट प्रैक्टिस होम्योपैथी एंड आयुर्वेदा with the short courses. Now we need clarification from NMC whether a short course recognized, I am talking about not unrecognized, दो जगह हैं for example डायबिटोलॉजी में, चेन्नई में और मुंबई में, which are recognized by MCI diabetology courses. So can they write diabetologist or not? So we need clarification from NMC
let's keep a
regarding
point here that we need clarification on these both short course issues, crosspathy and the other courses. We need to have clarification.
मैं आपको बताऊं, even in DM, while the person is doing endocrinology, वो डायबिटोलॉजी कितने घंटे पे पढ़ता है यार? वो भी तो उतना शॉर्ट कोर्स ही करता है। वो कौन सा पूरे जो है 2 साल डायबिटोलॉजी पढ़ रहा होता है?
That's true. That's true.
ठीक बात है।
Okay.
तो फिर डायबिटोलॉजी लिखेगा कौन?
डायबिटोलॉजी
clarification चाहिए।
Endo.
That is the clarification we want. If he has done a recognized diploma in a subject, he should be allowed to write. अब कोई डिप्लोमा एनेस्थीसिया कर सकता है, वो एनेस्थीसिया का नहीं प्रैक्टिस कर सकता, क्यों नहीं कर सकता?
वो तो रिकॉग्नाइज्ड है ना एनएमसी से।
अरे यार वही तो हम भी कह रहे हैं। तो डिप्लोमा और डायबिटोलॉजी और कार्डियोलॉजी में तकलीफ क्या है उनको?
जो रिकॉग्नाइज्ड है वो अलाउड होना चाहिए।
1 year और 2 year जितने भी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड डिप्लोमास हैं, they are 2 years.
Right.
Except 1 year, yeah. Except 1 year diploma in diabetology, which is only at 2 places in the country, which is recognized. So this is a unique thing. Otherwise, all other diplomas that are recognized are 2 year diplomas minimum.
Ideally, they should not be recognized.
Okay, so if they are recognized, we write. If they are not recognized, we don't write. Simple. But we write the degree, but we may not write diabetologist and cardiologist. That is the issue.
Yes, that is the issue.
Yes.
Point number 8.
Point number 8 is that continuous professional development, credit hours of total of 30 number shall be updated online on the NMC website against the name of doctor and shall be mandatory for renewal of registration every 5 years.
Agreed.
वो पहले भी था, अब mandatory
fair enough.
That's fair enough. Problem क्या है? What, there's nothing wrong with that. We are already doing that, but we have to be sure that the credit hours are not very, difficult to obtain. We are
It's
doing,
very easy, sir. 6 credit hours. 6 credit hours in a year.
There is a catch in this. They will not allow the companies, CMEs, and your association CMEs to be.
There are a lot of catches in this. You are right.
They will only allow.
They
will only allow the medical colleges and CMEs.
No, इस पे clarification चाहिए होगा गौरव हमें. How do we get the?
We are coming to this point later. ये तो अभी brief है. Point number 9, sir.
Okay.
Point number 9 is after having been registered under the NMC for practicing under the state, so license to practice shall not be applied by the doctor and shall be granted by the state. So it is, what is not clear is that if you are already having a license to practice from the NMC, what is the need for getting multiple licenses to practice?
State.
हाँ, तो इसमें तो मैंने बताया था कि they'll be, although this clarification is not there, we will want it from in writing from the NMC that after registering with the NMC, it is not clear if the NMC mandates a LTP for practicing in a primary state to which a doctor belongs. Okay?
No, Dr. Gora, what we should suggest is that if we have obtained license to practice from NMC, then we should not need to have separate licenses to practice from multiple states. Then what for is the NMC?
Okay.
नेशनल बॉडी ने आपको लाइसेंस दिया तो वो फिर सारे गले मोले उसे थोड़ी ना लेने हमने यार।
वैसे आपको बता दूं जस्ट फॉर नॉलेज की अगर कोई एडवोकेट होता है, एक ही उसका प्राइमरी स्टेट होता है, कहने के लिए बार काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया एक है, बट हर स्टेट की बार काउंसिल, स्टेट बार काउंसिल जस्ट लाइक स्टेट मेडिकल काउंसिल अलग अलग है। तो अगर वो भले ही रजिस्टर करता है एक स्टेट में, वो प्राइमरी स्टेट हो गया, किसी और स्टेट में प्रैक्टिस के लिए उसको वहां से भी रजिस्टर कराना पड़ता है, बल्कि उनके यहाँ तो और भी ज्यादा है, उसको पहले एनओसी लाना पड़ता है प्रीवियस स्टेट से। तो यहाँ पे तो एनएमसी इज 1 स्टेप अहेड, वो कहेगी एनओसी नहीं चाहिए, आप एलटीपी ले लो, 7 दिन के अंदर मिल जाएगा ऑनलाइन।
But it is like Gaurav, if I go to Jaipur and I see one of my relatives there and write some drugs to him, it becomes illegal?
Yes, if you don't have a LTP.
And what comes if I have do telemedicine which allows me to write across India?
For that you don't need license to practice.
So isn't that a conflict? That I can do a telemedicine across India, I cannot write a prescription live there being another state. So that has to be sorted.
See, it is about practice. If whether it will be called practice or not when you are seeing one relative of yours, and that is once only.
No, even
if
I
you are
say
doing,
otherwise, relative, padausi, kuch bhi, anybody, I go and my prescription becomes invalid, while my teleconsult to the same territory becomes valid.
See, it is about practicing. If you are going there once, you know, NMC will कहेगी क्या ये फालतू की complaint है, get lost. But if you are going there regularly, every weekend to Bhopal जाके कर रहा है, so obviously you need a license to practice. That is the point.
That's what I'm saying. Teleconsultation allows me to practice across India with one license of NMC or DMC or whatever. But we need this license to practice when we go to another state physically. So there is a conflict between the. So there is
important.
There is a conflict between the two things. We better sort it out and take an approval that we are allowed to practice across the nation.
We can send the suggestion that we should be allowed to practice throughout the country.
Yes.
Period.
Done.
Yes.
It has to be that way.
Unless we have been barred by some council. Will very simple.
Yeah. That's
How do the doctors, corporate doctors, hospital doctors manage who are going to Srinagar every month, who are going to Manipur every month for surgeries and for oncology? So
even outside the country, they are going to Ukraine. They are going. We're going to Ukraine.
Afghanistan.
So does that law not hold in the corporate sector?
So law is for everybody. Yes, it's for everybody same.
Sir, health is a state matter in India, and that is why they have put this clause, which means that every state has its own ruling. But what we can propose is that since National Medical Council is a federal kind of a platform or a central platform, we should be allowed to practice without registering in the state, without being asked to register in a particular state.
And
it
also, an important point in favor can be that health and illness can be an emergency anywhere. Any doctor anywhere should be allowed to give his opinion, because it can be a life-saving moment also. It can be a life-saving moment also for anybody. For me to be present, say, at any place in India and saving a life there by giving my services there, it's a very important point. A doctor is a savior in his capacity anywhere. So at least in India, it should be allowed.
No, Paras, the question is that emergencies are allowed. If there's a heart attack on the airplane and you're flying over, different states. So will you not treat the patient? You will, what are your best capability? So that is not the issue.
For that, you don't require certificate.
No, that is not the question.
It's an assumption. It's an assumption. We need to verify
state
that.
medical councils.
So this is allowed even in international flights for that matter. Yes. So I think in emergency situations are always an exception.
So we have to check.
But no, I'll tell you one thing. In international flights, what rule applies is the rule or the country over which you're flying. I remember I was going to US once and there was an emergency on the flight. The announcement was made that are you qualified as per the US degrees or not? The first thing they asked was that otherwise we will not allow you to take care of the patient. But they were ready to land the aircraft in the place wherever they were. But what I'm trying to say that these rules differ on international flights. I'm sorry to say. An international flight, it depends. The rules are quite different.
So Gaurav, I think we should take a permission to allow across at least.
Yes.
That won't be in conflict with telemedicine. That won't be in conflict with telemedicine then.
No, we don't need. The thing is that we should force upon this thing that हमारे को license to practice NMC ने दिया है. We should be allowed to practice all over India. We are not going to Pakistan to practice.
Yeah, Dr.
They will not allow it. Nobody will allow this.
They will not allow it.
Because DMC, MCI से दिल्ली में हम already registered थे MCI से DMC नया शुरू कर दिया कि फीस लेने शुरू कर दी. उसके बाद उन्होंने कहा 5 साल बाद होगा.
उनकी एग्जिस्टेंस खत्म हो जाएगी ना.
उनकी एग्जिस्टेंस खत्म हो जाती है. तो वो तो
नहीं तो कॉर्पोरेट के डॉक्टर जो पूरी दुनिया में घूम के आते हैं तो उनका क्या प्रॉब्लम है? बंद कर.
सर उनको भी लाइसेंस और प्रैक्टिस लेना पड़ेगा. They will have to take it.
That is what I'm saying ना यार.
Okay, let's finish this point. Suggestions are well taken and we will put it up. वैसे एक बात बता दूं, ये अभी डॉक्टर अनुपम सिंह ने भी पोस्ट किया था, बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट. It is in line with the prevailing law in most of the countries. अगर एक कंट्री में जितने भी स्टेट्स हैं, हर स्टेट की अपनी, as डॉक्टर मक्कड़ also said, अपनी लॉ होती है. सेंट्रल लॉ तो ठीक है, NMC है, बट स्टेट बॉडी अपने हिसाब से फ्रेम कर सकती है लॉ. तो हर स्टेट को, अब ये एडवोकेट्स की जो बॉडी है सबसे बड़ी, लॉ तो कानून वही बनाते हैं ना, तो उनकी लॉ ये कहती है कि हर स्टेट के लिए अलग प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए आपको चाहिए, ठीक है, तो कोई बात नहीं। और वो कभी एक दो केस के लिए भी जाते हैं ना, तो कोर्ट को बता देते हैं कि आई एम रजिस्टर्ड इन दिल्ली बट आई एम अपीयरिंग हियर, वो कहते हैं कोई बात नहीं, तो वो अपना एफिडेविट, वकालतनामा और वो दे देते हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। सो अगेन emergencies and would not be a problem, but if you are going to practice regularly, you will have to obtain a license to practice. And to my best this thing, it cannot go away because it is well established fact. Let us go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just add 5 seconds. People who come to demonstrate, let's say, endoscopic procedure from outside the state, somebody is coming from Mumbai, somebody from Calcutta, what is their status?
They are not practicing. They are just training you.
They are operating. The
Live
patient
surgery
can
करते
die.
हैं वो। Yes.
Teaching होगी ना, that comes under teaching.
No,
नहीं
no,
sir,
that-
So they must be taking a license.
they get
नहीं, इसमें
honorarium.
it does not
LMC
absolve
ने
them
प्रोविजन
of
बनाया था कि उसके लिए आप 1 दिन का परमिशन ले लो, उसको 15 दिन पहले अप्लाई करके, ओके, इसको कोई फॉलो नहीं करता, बट वो लाइव सर्जरी अगर कर रहे हैं तो इट अमाउंट्स टू प्रैक्टिस।
Yes. So then they're supposed to be taking a license here. Let them
Yes,
be taking a
LTP.
license for me.
Ideally,
LTP becomes
yes.
essential basically.
So
Yes,
that
yes,
is what
yes.
that need, Dr. Gaurav, please keep it in mind that they have to clarify this.
Okay, okay.
है ना? Because otherwise people like in Punjab, people go to Punjab, J&K, Haryana, and multiple weekends they go at multiple places. So they are supposed to be taking everything, license from every place.
मेडिकल कैंप्स फॉर एग्जांपल once in 6 months जा रहे हैं, तो इसका मेडिकल कैंप्स क्या बंद हो जाएंगे, सोशल सर्विस बंद कर देंगे डॉक्टर्स क्या? So we will need
So
clarification.
this need clarification and some permissions so that it can be done faster. Even if the permission has to be taken, it has to be done in such a manner that it becomes easier for somebody
They
to
are
take.
saying that they will be giving 7 days.
7 दिन is fast enough. I mean, एक हफ्ते पहले प्रोग्राम बनता है, तो ये
Instead
तो
of
नहीं कहता
permission,
कल आ जाओ.
instead of permission, it should be information.
Yeah,
Information
yeah,
होनी चाहिए।
perfect. It would be better.
No, it would be something like जैसे PCPNDT एक्ट में है, अगर 30 दिन के लिए अंदर परमिशन नहीं आई, तो परमिशन इज ग्रांटेड, अज्यूम्ड ग्रांटेड. So it will be 7 दिन के अंदर अगर नहीं मिला तो assumed. Yes.
So you apply, and if you don't get a reply within 3 days or 5 days, so it is assumed that it is granted.
Yes, yes.
7 days.
So Gaurav इसको
They are
3
very good
days
suggestion.
करवा दो.
So Dr. Swati, please write 3 days.
3 days करवा दो with some emergency
Assumed
clause.
granted if not obtained within 3 days.
Or 3 days with some emergency clause also. कुछ emergencies ऐसी होंगी जिसमें it is allowed.
And what about medical camps? वो भी आप लिख दो कि medical camps के लिए permission again same thing.
Medical
next-
camps and public awareness programs, they don't need
Licensing.
license from different states.
No, both are different, sir. Public awareness programs के लिए तो चाहिए ही नहीं by default. That is allowed, but medical camps amounts to medical practice.
Fine. So medical camps should be exempt from this. Okay. Right. So next is that doctors can refuse to continue consultation if due fee not paid by the patient. Not applicable in emergencies and in government hospitals.
Very good point. Yes. Next.
Nee, but what is this due fee?
Due fee, अगर उसने fees नहीं दी है, consultation fee, that is due.
By due क्या होता है? What is due?
उधार.
Applicable fees.
नहीं,
जो
तो
आपसे
पुराना बिल चुकता नहीं किया है, पुराना बिल चुकता नहीं किया, आज फिर आ गया कि मुझे देख लो, तो you have a right to refuse कि मैं पहले पुराना
Yes,
पुराना clear कर दे यार.
पुराना bill as well as present bill भी. Yes.
my indirect corollary to this is that we are supposed to be giving a receipt on every visit. That is what is important. But he has not, अगर हम 10 पेशेंट देखते हैं और एक को हम रसीद काटते हैं, तो then we can never claim that he did not give me my due fee.
वो तो आपको प्रूव करना ही पड़ेगा, चाहे आपको रिसीट से करो।
वही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ। सो भाई जब मैं 20 देखूंगा, 20 में से एक का पर्चे काटूंगा,
पॉइंट मेरे ख्याल से ये नहीं है। पॉइंट ये है कि अगर पेशेंट आपको पिछली फीस उसकी पेंडिंग है और इस बार फिर आ जाता है, तो यू कैन रिफ्यूज।
No, that is fine.
डॉक्टर मोटा, वो एनएमसी के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है, वो इनकम टैक्स वालों के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट।
वो हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है।
रसीद तो सबकी काटनी चाहिए।
नहीं भाई, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ, मैं हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है। हम कैसे प्रूव करेंगे? पेशेंट बोला नहीं, मैं तो दी थी। क्या बोलोगे आप?
वो तो फिर चीज सीन ही चेंज हो
तो
गया
फिर
ना।
ठीक है, उसको मना कर दो,
वो एक
मैंने
अलग
देखा नहीं
वो
देखा
तो
तेरे
कभी
को,
भी हो सकता है
वो
ना।
तो एक
वैसे
अलग
भी आपका
situation
राइट
हो गई।
है,
तो आप मना कर दो कि मैं नहीं देखूंगा आपको।
राइट टू रिफ्यूजल तो
नहीं,
वैसे भी होगा।
नहीं, व्हाट
आप
इज
अपनी
सेइंग कि
पैड
अगर
पे
क्लेम
लास्ट
कहता है मैं तो दी है
आप अपनी
फीस।
पैड पे लास्ट प्रिस्क्रिप्शन पे लिखो फीस नॉट पेड।
हाँ,
That is okay. So somewhere there has to be noting that he has not paid.
That's a different
Okay.
situation ना।
Number 11 is solicitation of patient by doctors directly or indirectly is prohibited, whether by a trust, a corporate or government hospital. What is this? What do you mean by
ये जो
soliciting?
ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं प्रैक्टो और ये सब एडवर्टाइजमेंट कर रहे हैं, उसमें क्या करेंगे इसका?
नहीं, advertisement की
नहीं,
बात
वो
नहीं
तो
कर रहे।
वो तो इलीगल बोल दिया है ना, वो सारा का सारा इलीगल है।
नहीं, what do you
सब
नहीं,
illegal है,
Dr.
बहुत
Gaurav,
बढ़िया।
I want to know from you that
सही
what
है,
do you
बिल्कुल,
mean by
बहुत
solicitation?
Solicitation is, glorified. It is glorified as public relation, um, invitation, public relation officership by a corporate hospital. So it is solicitation, seeking patients for consultation
एडवर्टीजमेंट हो गया
This
ना
has
एक
been,
by
this is
enticing
happening.
them.
No. Advertisement is different from solicitation.
Solicitation is you have kept your agents who goes and who bring you patients and you give them cut money.
So that
I've
means
seen this
corporate,
in Gangaram
so
hospital.
all corporate
Certain
hospitals will
doctors were
close.
having some persons those used to bring patients to them कि भाई वही
ओ
डॉक्टर
भाई
अच्छा
मेरी बात
It
सुनो
was
ना यार, आप इससे
illegal
अपना मत।
earlier as well, and it is illegal now as well. So
Yeah,
nothing changes.
ये तो
Nothing
पहले
changes.
भी illegal था।
So the question is, that means that all corporate hospitals who are soliciting patients by having these funny teams going to each clinic and then making small sub-units at various places is illegal. Is it okay?
100%, absolutely. It was illegal. It is now. I
पहले
think you
भी
want to
illegal
make
था।
a point to corporate hospitals, but उनमें से कोई representative यहाँ पे है नहीं. So the effort is futile, sir. Please.
नहीं मैं एग्जांपल दे
डॉक्टर अजय है।
डॉक्टर लाहौटी भी है।
नहीं, corporate hospital के representative
अच्छा,
of management के
oh.
management के.
ओके
नहीं, उनको तो डॉक्टर की फिक्र ही नहीं ना, लेट्स बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट।
हाँ,
उनको तो डॉक्टर लाहौटी का नाम बेच के पेशेंट चाहिए, या डॉक्टर अशोक राव का नाम लेके पेशेंट चाहिए। उसको बाद में उनको कोई फिक्र नहीं है डॉक्टर अशोक राव है, डॉक्टर लाहौटी है, डॉक्टर मोटा के साथ क्या हो रहा है। So that is
my request to all is
indirect
that our session has been pretty long. I think we should wind up in next 10 minutes and we should have
अब सुनिए यार,
a second
एक बात तो
announce
सुनो।
session, sir.
Okay, so let us finish the 11 point. My request is that we should write by that indirect solicitation by any corporate or NGO or government hospital is not to be done, because they are using our degrees and our name and they are soliciting for themselves.
Yes.
तो हम लोग भी तो यूनाइट नहीं होते उनके अगेंस्ट।
अरे यार पहले यहाँ पर तो
नहीं तो
हम लोग कौन से यूनाइट होते हैं? हम लोग ही
ना
तो
हो, पर
support
वो
करते हैं
तो
उनको।
पीआरओ भेजते हैं ना अपने कि डॉक्टर साहब ने इस डॉक्टर ने ज्वाइन
नहीं,
किया
तो
है,
but
ये इतनी सर्जरी
it
कर
is
चुके हैं।
very sad that we never unite. हमारे को खड़े
नहीं
होके
वो देख रहे हैं, नहीं राजीव सुन यार, वो तो
नॉन
बात की
मेडिको
बात है।
नॉन
मेरी
मेडिको
बात ये है कि
नॉन मेडिको सीईओ ऑफ
नहीं
द हॉस्पिटल
मेरी बात तो
धज्जियां
सुनो
उड़ा
यार,
देता है, धज्जियां उड़ा
मेरी
देता है
बात
आपकी
सुनो।
रिस्पेक्ट की। कोई बोलता है?
देखो मेरी बात सुनो, मैं ये रिक्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ कि दैट वी शुड ट्राई टू टेल देम दैट सोलिसिटिंग ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ डॉक्टर्स इज टू बी प्रोहिबिटेड। फिनिश्ड।
उन्होंने तो बोल ही दिया है, सीधी तरीके से मत करो।
ऑलरेडी लिखा हुआ है,
In any
डायरेक्टली
form.
और इनडायरेक्टली solicitation is prohibited. This is a good
So
point.
Gaurav,
It is already there.
Gaurav, we need more explanation on this, or is it clear actually?
No, it is 100% clear. Indirectly word is there in the law.
इससे क्या होता है ना डॉक्टर गौरव, दैट हॉर्स ट्रेडिंग विल स्टॉप।
Which horse
सर
trading?
बात ये है कि गले में घंटी कौन बांधे, ऑलरेडी ये बैंड है, बट आप कंप्लेंट करने वाले बनो, मैं कंप्लेंट करने वाला बनूं तो ही तो एक्शन लेना।
हाँ।
कंप्लेंट करने वाला ही कोई नहीं है तो फिर
बिल्कुल
एक्शन
ठीक
कहां से
बात
हो?
है।
ये चलता
बिल्कुल
रहेगा।
कोई बात नहीं, कंप्लेंट करने वाले मिल जाएंगे, डोंट वरी। So this I am no, I actually my aim was to ask you about solicitation.
सर अगर मैक्स हॉस्पिटल पटपड़गंज में कोई एक डॉक्टर एक्स ज्वाइन करता है एज अ डायरेक्टर ऑफ ऑन्कोलॉजी, जस्ट गिविंग एन एग्जांपल, and he's a famous person and tomorrow there is an ad in the newspaper which says Dr. X has joined as the director of oncology, is that solicitation by the hospital?
It is an advertisement.
Is that allowed?
That is the first
allowed.
time joining advertisement. That
It
is
is allowed.
there.
It is
That
allowed.
It is allowed. If you
7
have changed,
एडवर्टाइजमेंट
if you have
अलाउड
changed
है,
your
उनमें से
clinic or you
एक
have
ये है
changed
जो
your
आपने,
hospital.
या 7 टाइप्स ऑफ एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स आर अलाउड, उनमें से एक एग्जांपल जो आपने दिया है वो है। ओके, सो
हाँ।
लॉ इज क्लियर, यू कैन डू दैट।
I think that's fine. 12th point number 12 is generic names of drugs. The doctor has to prescribe using generic names only. I think this should be
That's
totally
not fair.
withdrawn.
We have to
You
fight
should
about
write
it.
generic.
Yes.
No, suppose there are one drug that contains 12 components.
Yes,
How
yes.
can we are going to write 12 components?
Most of the drugs contain 3 or 4 at least.
So it is that we should write the trade brand name and as much as possible write the generic name too.
Yes.
ये तो आज वो ग्रुप में किसी ने डाला ही था ना, अब number 1 was antibiotic and number 7 was painkiller, फिर तो हो गया काम. So then वही होना है बाद में.
So I think what Gaurav has suggested is fine. This
absolutely yes.
Depends.
That doctor should be allowed to write branded names because that may contain multiple,
what we can say that should be in a legible writing and in capitals.
But we should be allowed to write branded names and also generics wherever applicable, but it should not be mandatory.
And very important point, the intention of legislature, that is, sir, एक second. NMC का यहाँ पे इंटेंशन है कि डॉक्टर गिफ्ट्स वगैरह लेके या कोई भी किसी भी तरह का कोई ग्रीड एलिमेंट उनके दिमाग में ना हो दवाई लिखते वक्त. सो बेसिकली उन्होंने वो ग्रीड को खत्म नहीं किया है, वो शिफ्ट कर दिया है फ्रॉम डॉक्टर्स सो कॉल्ड डॉक्टर्स चैम्बर टू द केमिस्ट शॉप. बिकॉज वहां पे केमिस्ट ग्रीड करेगा, तो वो ग्रीड खत्म नहीं हुआ है. सो NMC हैज फेल्ड इन इट्स ऑब्जेक्टिव बाय दिस डायरेक्शन कि डॉक्टर नहीं लिखेगा ब्रांड नेम, तो केमिस्ट लिखेगा ना. सो ग्रीड शिफ्ट हो गई है, खत्म नहीं हुई है. सो इंटेंशन हैज फेल्ड drastic, absolutely.
The second thing I want to please add over there is that generic drugs are not of the same quality. They are not of the same price.
But the government does not accept it. वो कहते हैं same quality है. We cannot fight on this point.
Why can't we argue with them that the drug price control is the government's only, and they approve branded drug in 10 times the cost and generic drugs in less than 1/10 of the cost.
That is a good relevant fighting point. Yes.
Why this ambiguity? Sir, they are making a fool of people and doctors.
Absolutely. On same lines, why they have allowed pharmaceutical industry to produce branded medicines at all?
Yes.
If we have to write only generic medicines, all companies should be banned. They should be producing only generic medicines. No brand name should be allowed.
There should be a capping. There should be capping of
price.
price.
Sometimes patient demands कि सर हमको बेस्ट से बेस्ट, महंगी दवाई से महंगी जो भी हो वो लिखो, क्योंकि हमें बेस्ट क्वालिटी चाहिए. तो बट हमारे हाथ बंधे हुए हैं कि नहीं, हमारे रेगुलेटर ने मना किया, हम नहीं लिख सकते. तो फिर कौन लिखेगा? केमिस्ट के पास जाओ.
नहीं, Dr. Gaurav, the reverse also true. There are many people who write a drug which is a branded drug and they say no, we cannot afford it. Can we go for Ayush drug? Sorry, this Jan Aushadhi. We say okay, go. So the question is that in the interest of patients, we should be allowed to write branded also and generic names also.
And it happens many times that you write a cheaper drug and your chemist replaces by some costly drug where he has more margin. It goes other way around also. As a doctor, you know what your patient can afford. You write according to his affordability because you do not want to lose the patient. A chemist on the other side wants to earn more bucks. For a doctor, he wants the patient to continue with him for lifelong. For a chemist, he has a lure for some time and he wants to have the maximum margin on that very prescription, right? So he gives a more costlier, more profitable brand to the patient actually.
Doctor
is the best person to justify which brand to be written to whom, what price costing somebody can afford.
Dr. Gaurav has written very clearly that by making generic only prescription mandatory, the greed is shifted from the doctor's chamber to the chemist chamber. And if the doctor writes in the interest of patient, the chemist or the pharmacist is going to write in his own interest. So
we can argue, Dr. Mota, argue on this point. If the quality is good of the generic, why there is so much of price difference? The price is decided by the government only.
Dr. Rajiv, price is not decided by the government. The price is decided by the government only for certain essential medicines. Rest of the prices are not under their control.
किसके पास है drug price control? Drug price control किसका है?
वो प्राइस कंट्रोल एक सेलेक्ट ड्रग्स के लिए, लिस्ट ऑफ ड्रग्स के लिए, सारी ड्रग्स के लिए
उनके घटा दो ना, बैंडविड्थ घटा दो ना, 10 टाइम्स क्यों हो जाता है? कम से कम 3-4 टाइम्स रख दो. Why it becomes
कोई बात नहीं, आप जो भी है.
I think let's move ahead. We have lot of fighting points and we have very solid arguments in the favor that we should be allowed to write both branded as well as generic names.
The nutshell story is that please don't allow the chemist, the chemist to be the arbiter for which drug is good.
Sir, final 5 minutes, sir. Final 5 minutes.
Anything to regulate non.
Sir, aphrodisiac की कोई बात सुना दो, यहाँ पे लगता है 5 मिनट बढ़ाना है टाइम.
अरे सुनो यार, मजाक नहीं करो यार. सुनो यार. Number 13, doctor should not use online forums or agents to procure patients. ये तो उसी में कवर हो गया.
हाँ, but अलग से मेंशन है. ठीक है, go ahead.
ये तो practo आ गया, practo.
This is all bullshit. You know, I'm sorry to use the word, prostitutes are allowed solicitation, but doctors will not be allowed. But bullshit है.
ये क्या बात?
Sir, example थोड़ा सा
चेंज कर लो.
सर आप घूम फिर के वहीं पहुंच जाते हैं डायरेक्टली इनडायरेक्टली.
नहीं यार, तुम सोचो ना यार.
अच्छा आगे चलो सर, आगे चलो.
वहाँ किए थे ना बॉम्बे में डांस बार बंद, फिर क्यों खोल दिए?
सर थोड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स समझ नहीं पा
Sir,
रहे अभी.
same thing holds good for organs also, donating organs.
मैंने सोचा थोड़ा सा आप लोग मान जाओगे, नहीं 5 मिनट और दोगे मुझे.
नहीं
चलो नंबर 14.
नहीं देंगे सर, because
आपने
we have to
नाम ही नहीं
honor
schedule
everybody's schedule. Somebody might have scheduled something after our scheduled meeting.
ओ ठीक है ना यार,
we
तो
can't linger on.
At 10:30
And then the second session has to again begin from where we leave.
ओ भाई सुनो, 10:30
पहले बोलता था दारू, प्रेजेंट बनने के बाद शेड्यूल समवेयर बोलता है.
पहले खुद लेट आता था.
No, I mean, I leave it to you because then it doesn't justify a second invite.
चलो ठीक है.
Okay, number 14. Recommending, endorsing, approving, giving a certificate, etc. for commercial product, appliance, therapeutic oil, one name, with one name. If it is only name, I think it should be allowed. If it is using your degree as a doctor, should not be allowed.
ये समझ नहीं आया पॉइंट क्या है ये.
भाई जैसे अक्षय कुमार ने किया वो ये ताज वाहताज, तो वो नहीं करना हमने.
नहीं
च्यवनप्राश का है, डॉक्टर नहीं दे सकता.
डेंटल सर्जन वो कहते हैं ना, सेंसोडाइन बहुत अच्छा पेस्ट है.
वो नहीं दे सकते हैं.
वो तो गलत है, वो तो पहले से अलाउड है. वो तो पहले से
मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि एनएमसी का 3 दिन पहले ऑर्डर आया है कि खादी प्रोडक्ट्स डॉक्टर्स को लिखने चाहिए, पहनने चाहिए, रिकमेंड करने चाहिए.
दिमाग खराब है.
खादी प्रोडक्ट फ्री नहीं है, पैसे दे के खरीदना पड़ता है, तो उसमें मनी एक्सचेंज होगा. तो उससे बेनिफिट कौन होगा? जो रिकमेंड कर रहा है वो नहीं बेनिफिट होगा क्या? एनएमसी. और गवर्नमेंट बेनिफिट नहीं होगी. सो इफ एनएमसी, इफ द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया कैन आस्क एनएमसी एंड द एनएमसी इटसेल्फ, द रेगुलेटरी बॉडी कैन रिकमेंड order us to recommend khadi products. So ये भी तो recommending हो गई, endorsing खादी हो गई. So I mean they are breaking their own law. I mean,
yes, it is contradictory.
They cannot force you.
It is very simple. If a doctor is recommending or endorsing a product but not displaying his qualifications or something, that's fine. Somebody might like Dr. Gora Agarwal's face.
Why shouldn't a doctor be allowed to endorse some product? It's his brand image. He can use that brand image to endorse anything.
But Amitabh Bachchan can talk about mankind formation, but you cannot.
Gaurav, just see how can we defend it? Should be defended. I mean, it's my way of doing things. Why can't I endorse things? If I have certain following, it should be allowed to be endorsed.
नहीं, इसमें I want to know what are the international this thing, Dr. Anupam, Dr. Mota, इसमें US में कर सकते हैं क्या?
Oh
Can
yes.
you advertise the water filter?
No. In US,
only OTCs, only OTC drugs.
Water filter आप advertise कर सकते हो क्या?
No. In US, any drug company can promote its product on national television or whatever television they have individual. They can do it.
Doctor endorse it. Can a doctor endorse it?
बात हो रही है, डॉक्टर कर सकता है क्या?
Sir, I don't know about USA, but वो आपने सेंसोडाइन की जो बात की थी, वो जो
UK में है वो
UK के हैं सारे.
They use UK doctors. They use UK doctors. I think doctors should be allowed to endorse. They have their following, and they should be.
देखो, I know a little bit about USA. In USA also there are a lot of regulations coming down upon doctors. They can't even accept a pizza from any representative, not even a pen nowadays. It's very difficult. They have gone through all this in 2-3 decades before what we are facing today.
But one thing I'll tell you, what I will tell you is that, okay, we don't accept gifts, that's fine. But what the hell is wrong with that if I feel that a product of, let us say, some product is good and I endorse it, what is the problem? I'm not earning because of wrong things. I'm not endorsing a wrong product.
No, you can endorse the wrong product also, sir. It's your following. You can do anything to them.
नहीं, but you cannot say. तंबाकू का ऐड आ रहा है, तो लोगों कह रहे हैं ना कि
हाँ, so
तंबाकू
you should not be
हाँ, तो
able to
अमिताभ
use
बच्चन
it.
कर रहा है,
you can't-
अमिताभ बच्चन
हाँ।
कर रहा है तंबाकू का ऐड।
तो पर वो गलत है ना, सब लोग कह रहे हैं
नहीं,
ना।
वो तीनों नहीं कर रहे हैं,
नहीं, वो अलाउ क्यों कर रहे हैं उनको?
तो दैट इज व्हाट यू
That's what
कांट
I'm
प्रमोट
saying.
बैड थिंग्स।
They have their following, they are banking on that following. You have your following, you should be allowed to
Dr.
endorse whatever
Gaurav,
you want.
Dr.
Yeah.
We
Gaurav,
should not be.
is-
No. My point is that we should not.
can we bring an element of discrimination against doctors?
Yes.
Sir,
See,
let me
this
give
is
my
totally
personal view.
legally we
No.
Yeah.
Let me, sir, ऐसा है, मैं पर्सनल व्यूज दे रहा हूँ, ग्रुप वाले व्यूज नहीं। ये ट्रेडिशनली डॉक्टर्स का जो पेशा है बहुत ही नोबल रहा है, नोबल प्रोफेशन। अगर उसमें मार्केटिंग या ये रिकमेंडिंग और एडवर्टाइज ये सब घुस जाएगी तो नोबिलिटी खत्म हो जाएगी। और ये पॉइंट पहले भी रहा है, डॉक्टर धर्म प्रकाश को सस्पेंड कर दिया था, और ये हमेशा, दिस विल नेवर डाई डाउन, इट विल ऑलवेज बी देयर डिस्पाइट आवर बेस्ट इंटेंशंस ऑफ गिविंग देम सजेशंस अदरवाइज। ओके
सर, एक बात बताइए, ये मीटिंग वैसे रिकॉर्ड हो रही है, डू यू थिंक दैट IAS ऑफिसर्स और लॉ मेकर्स और विधायक और मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट वो सब दूध के धुले हुए हैं?
नहीं, दैट इज नॉट द पॉइंट।
नहीं,
उनको कोई नोबल नहीं कहता,
नहीं,
नोबल डॉक्टरी कहलाता है।
नहीं,
नाउ सिंस वी आर डिस्कसिंग,
भैया हमसे ज्यादा नोबल तो पॉलिटिशियन होने चाहिए, जुडिशरी
नहीं,
होनी चाहिए।
लेकिन उनको कोई नहीं कहता ना, वो
तो
तो
इसीलिए हम
डकैत
कह
है।
रहे हैं
यही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ, इसी क्यों नहीं
No.
इसीलिए हम वी वांट टू सेफगार्ड आवर ओन इंटरेस्ट। आई एग्री विद पारस।
Very simple that we want to say that there should not be a discriminatory attitude toward doctors. Constitution of India is same. So the same rules should apply to everybody, and that same should apply to doctors. We are not noble. Kindly forgive us. We want the same liberties as other citizens of India enjoy. That is very
Let this
simple.
suggestion go. Yes.
इसके लिए एक कोई two member
as much a citizen of India as a politician is. What is the problem?
Before endorsing a product, एक permission का कुछ clause बना दो.
No, the only thing is that we should not endorse a banned product or a harmful product like tobacco.
नहीं, फिर वही है ना
That's
कि
fine.
कोई water filter is not harmful as per you, it is harmful as per me.
Yes.
How do we differentiate?
नहीं तो सर
So
ऐसे
you
तो
don't,
IMA तो
endorse,
endorse कर ही रहा है
we
ना,
endorse.
IMA तो endorse कर ही रहा है एयर प्यूरिफायर्स को, वाटर फिल्टर को, IMA is endorsing it.
So the IMA is a body, is an association. Association can do it, not a doctor. That is the point.
But this is foolish. Association में कौन आदमी है जो it is doctors only who are.
No, that is infringement of an individual's independence.
That is what I was saying. That the Constitution India applies equally to all people.
So Gaurav would see the pitfalls in it and would like to defend by some
I
means.
should have sex with my patients. So let's not talk about infringement of a person's rights. That could be, it could vary from person to person. We have to draw a line somewhere, ठीक है, nobility नहीं रही, हम we are sellers now, we are not patients, we are not
नहीं, तो
doctors,
उन्होंने
we are
तो हमारे को
shopkeepers.
बोला भाई, उन्होंने तो हमारे को बोला ना कि दैट आपका पेशेंट आपका कंज्यूमर है, कंज्यूमर एक्ट तो उन्होंने लाया ना, हमने थोड़ी लाया, हम तो तब तक नोबल ही थे ना.
So we should try to defend. How do we defend? Gaurav would see to it and we'll suggest him the points. I think.
अब ये ठीक है, let these suggestions go. They've got a lot of logic in them. Do we have time to move ahead?
Yeah, I think we should conclude today's meeting and we should announce the next meeting so that more people can attend and people can stick to their schedule, and they should be known that meeting is for 40 minutes or 60 minutes or 80 minutes. We can't go on and on.
So we have finished 14 points. So I think we request Dr. Swati to make the next, announcement about, the next meeting.
So I think with everybody's permission, either we schedule it on Sunday if you want a more longer discussion. It can be on Sunday, 4 to maybe 3:30 to 5:30, which is a in between time, doesn't disrupt most of the schedules of evening and morning for people. If you say we can keep it on 3:30 to 5 on Sunday, or versus we then again take it to Tuesday.
Sunday के बाद कोई भी रख लो, I'll be traveling.
I think मुझे लगता है यार हनुमान जी का दिन ठीक है हमारे लिए.
So let's keep it on Tuesday then. By that time, Gaurav prepares what we have suggested up till point 14, and then we go on present other points.
Fine.
But we have to. I think we'll have one more session, final one. We'll have to have 3 sessions, I believe so.
We'll have to move in time and quick.
Yeah, we don't have to linger, so we'll allow the presentations, and or we have to go point by point, that on 5 points, few of these would make a comment, on another 5 somebody else would comment, or people have to make their suggestions upfront actually.
Can we have in afternoon instead of night for Tuesday?
I mean, it depends on when more number of people can join, when people have more free time.
3 to 5, the only people are free. I don't know, night may.
Or you can announce starting from 9 and goes endless till the session finishes.
No, I think that would be difficult. Yeah, I mean, other people have to do other things.
Because 9 to 10:30 mean you have to have a closing time also actually.
Yes. I think it's a good suggestion. You can work on that, having between 3 to 4 or 3 to 4:30, and then
3 to 5. 3 to 5.
I think we have 19 people, and 19 people can show up and say okay for whatever time they want, because it is finally these people who are going to be here.
So as of now, 3 to 40, unless anybody has any objection.
Everybody can make it their appearance on the screen, and by show of hands we can decide. So all 4, 3:30 to 5?
Yeah, that's okay.
That's fine. I think let's now do it and then finish it off.
3:30 to 5.
Any objections by anybody for 3:30 to 5?
3 to 4:30.
I'm traveling on Tuesdays afternoons.
Okay, all right. That makes life simpler. So it becomes again, it again becomes 9:30 to 10:30, or maybe 9 to 10:30. 9 to 10:30 maximum, not beyond 10:30.
Keep it 9 to 10.
No, then you have to shift the date from Tuesday to somewhere else, because at least I won't be available on Tuesday evening.
Tuesday evening you are not here, so we keep it Wednesday then.
Wednesday को रख लो ना.
Wonderful.
Anytime on Wednesday.
दोपहर को रखो Wednesday.
बहुत दिन हो जाएंगे, आज Tuesday है यार, 8 दिन बाद.
हाँ, बहुत दिन हो जाएंगे, momentum टूट जाएगा. So, but Gaurav is not available.
Afternoon में
रख लो, कल रख लो.
परसों रखो, कल तो मीटिंग है,
परसों क्या है? On 9th?
परसों 9th है ना? हाँ, परसों रख लो.
हाँ, ये फर्स्ट सेशन तो जल्दी खत्म किया जा सकता है, because we are in the middle of the things.
Wonderful. So 9th.
9th afternoon.
हाँ, ठीक है.
Afternoon.
9th afternoon or 10th? Just please make it clear. 9th or 10th?
3:30 से 5 हो गया?
9th.
Is everybody okay with that?
9, 3:30 to 5. Is it fine?
Okay.
That's fine. Okay.
Done.
So good night, everybody. Thanks a lot, Dr. Gaurav.
Good night.
Right, Dr. Vijay Arora sir.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye, Gaurav.
Bye, boss. Bye.
Thank you everybody. Thank you, dear Gaurav, Dr. Anil Mota sir.
Bye.
Swati, Rajiv.
Bye, Paras.
Dr. Lalit.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
All right, lovely. Dr. Lahoti sir and Dr. Rajiv Gupta, Dr. AP Bhatia sir and everybody.
तेरा प्रोग्राम का मूड बन गया है इस.
नहीं मेरा प्रोग्राम नहीं, मेरी ओपीडी लाइन अप है भाई, मैं करूँ अपना काम. All right,
दिन निकला है अभी.
हाँ, मेरा दिन निकला है अभी.
Good morning, Paras.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Lovely to have you all here. Right, Swati? All points noted?
हाँ जी sir, I think I've noted down.
We are good to go. All right. Dr. Govil sir, good night. So I take your leave. Thank you, everybody.